Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live at the Independence Stadium in Windhoek City for a evening kickoff. The Debmarine Premiership is back. It is the home team African Stars versus Young African. Just as more of you join, the conditions today not too bad. A little bit of wind, if anything, but the rain has eluded us today. So the football gods have been kind. And of course, we just await the two teams that will be coming out in a hotly contested game. It must be said, this result is an important one. As yesterday or over the weekend, another important result was confirmed by the Red Army against the same opponents. So it's a unique time where a team would want to get full 3 points of revenge against the team that basically stole. Well, you wouldn't call it stealing. The game was won by the better team. But, ish, $1.5 million. So revenge should be on the minds of these players from Hobabus. But it's easier said than done. Football, the ball is still round. And as the players come onto the pitch, I can quickly go through the starting lineups, starting with the home team, African Stars. In goal, we have Marvin Lukaku Kasetura. Right back, Tabang Malane. At centre back, we have Vitapin Garuka. Alongside him, Maharedo. So one person that is not in the starting lineup is Charles Hambira. If you know how important he is, that is an interesting change, but absent he is. Left back, Edmund Kambanda. In the midfield, Ronald Keshiere Stiga, alongside Rika Mujua and Ngero Katua. And then in the front three, starting with the man on the left, I believe it will be Harold Gassep, coming in for Awilo, who is another player that will not be playing today. On the right wing, between himself and Bakonja Chahikika, we will have Godwin Isep to finish off the starting 11. Paulus, Joseph Juja, Jomo Chiveta, Gianluca, Given, Rokoro, January, who's celebrating his birthday just recently, Jackson Johannes, and Chatindi make up the substitutes for the rich Red Army, as we can say so now. The starting lineup for Young African, and as a commentator that just handled their team sheet just a few days ago, I already predicted two changes that Coach Mali Zimo made in that game. I thought those players would start. They are, in fact, starting this game. But let us start from the top. The goalkeeper, Moses Make, stays in goal. The son of the goalkeeper, Ka Kamumbu Ngarizimo, is the son of the head coach. He is starting the number two. The captain, the very angry captain, KK. Beside him, it's Deacon. Number 19, Denzel Awasep. Number 33, Mira Mapo Mathopi Mathopo, the South African. Number 12, probably the player that had the best game in the final for Young African, Ali Jr. That player is still in the starting lineup. And then here, one of the changes that were made at the 30th minute. Leroy Adams will start this game. One player that I didn't see during the final, and he now is back, is the number 100, Jackson Nangoro. I thought he would have started at least in the final, but he was totally absent. He starts today's game. And the two players that I definitely knew were going to start this game, who did not start in the final, Denzel Narib, the number 9, and the number 7, Ferdinand Obina. Two dangerous players there. And now, alongside Jackson Nangoro, is a front 3, and Leroy Ali Jr., and Leroy Adams. Those 5 players are going to be a sting in this Red Army side, especially now that Charles Mbida is not in that back 4. The substitutes are Kanji, number 32, Naftali, who was the right back, the starting right back for Young African. He's on the bench. Dalen Horongo, number 20, McKenny, number 99, Hafeni, number 10, the South African Kalane, and lastly, number 27, Charlie Kahe. So, is revenge on the cards? What can you say? Thank you for joining us live on Facebook and on YouTube. So, unfortunately, everyone has to join us now on YouTube. The comment section is available to you. We will have a look at it every now and then. So, give us your score predictions. Let us know where you're watching from, and tell your football friends and family that number 1 and number 2 in the log table are playing right now. The undefeated Young African versus the champions. You could say that this is the most important game so far in the Debmarine Premiership. And it starts with Young African with the center. And here is the new man, Dalen Awasep, at left back. Charlie Kahe was the usual left back. It's now Awasep who clears it down the line. But Maherero works well with Malane. Maherero just goes long, and while Moses Make, the goalkeeper, just has to make sure that he does find Ferdinand Obina, and that through ball wasn't coming off. But throughout those 3 changes that Coach Nga Rizimo made in the final at the 30th minute, a very odd time to make those changes, but 3 very important players, Leroy Adams, Ferdinand Obina, and Denzel Narib, now they will have perhaps a longer time to influence this game against the same opponents. Awasep, the throw in, Leroy, good control there from Godwin, and Rika Malane. Jackson, Leroy Jr., that central midfielder there, the number 12. He's playing alongside the South African Mira, like literally a mirror that you can see yourself in. Trying to understand the correlation of that nickname, but that's a very good ball over the top, trying to find Obina, and Obina puts it in, finding his compadre, Denzel Narib, and that's how sharp those 2 players can be. And we must not forget the number 100, Jackson Nangoro, on this left flank. So it's going to be a very interesting game. Ali Jr. finds Obina. Maharero could head it out. Rika wants to work now with Godwin, but Awasep does the good thing and just gets it out. It's interesting that the referees today are of one gender, and during the final they were of another. So That game was hard tackles in that final. It was a very aggressive game. Malane with the cross. He's going to go to the back post, and Moses Make had to be sure from my angle, which is a very educated angle because we are on top of the stadium commentating. If that ball fell into the nest, it would have been a very awkward goal to concede. Stars still have the ball. They put it into the box. Godwin's the only one there, but it's cleared. It comes back into the fray, and Bakonja. No, that's Gossip. Harold Gossip. He will add pressure. He's done well to at least win that throw in, still in the commanding area. Obina with that headed on. Leroy. Narib loses out to the Red Army. Scrambling well. Rika asking for more support from Gossip. From Godwin. Apologies. Star still winning that ball. Here's player of the tournament for the MTC Maris Cup. Bakonja beating one player. Ali Jr. got it off Godwin but couldn't find Langolo Jackson. And we're trying to figure out if Malane's opportunity was a shot off target or a shot on target. The goalkeeper still had to make a frantic save. I think we'll leave it for the air. Rika goes wide. It was called by, and there another call is for a penalty, a handball, and you would not believe Kambanda to be a liar. He's a very honest man. So he must have seen something that he should have. He wanted to alert the referee as credible, but no decision made. The game is still flowing well, and that's probably the first foul of the game. It's a very interesting dynamic here when both teams have played for so much money, and now the nerves or the intensity is probably cut in half. But the league table, this is number one versus number two. African Stars are on top of the log, and Young African are in second. And this is just by goal difference. Everyone is sitting on the same amount of points. 22 is the special number. Beautiful ball from Maharero to find Kambanda. Ah, it's safely cleared there. Star still in the ascendancy. Bakonja. Ngero Katua, who had a excellent man of the match performance in that final. Jackson has time to run with the ball. Awasep Malane now. It was Godwin Isep that won that ball back. Here he is now, Godwin. Looking for the junkie. He still gets the ball back. He beats two players. That's a good tackle there from Awasep. And that's a good tackle from Godwin. Three headers. And that's a foul from Bakonja on, I believe, the midfield player. And it is a call for medical assistance. I'll try to confirm. I believe it is the son, Garizimo, that is on the floor. But it's still a young African free kick nonetheless. So in other results, of course, very interestingly so, Comas Nampo and UNAM FC had the opportunity to do something while African Stars and Young African were focusing on the MTC Maris Cup. But UNAM FC playing Bucks Buccaneers, I believe. Yes, indeed. Drawing 1-1. UNAM were at home. And Comas Nampol drawing with Blue Waters in the coast 1-1 as well. So nobody really trying to throw a spanner in the works. These 1-1 draws are really coming to be a common thing now in the league, especially amongst the top four teams. Here's the captain KK, a very angry man. I'll explain later why I say so. Ali Jr. back to his captain, Kayenji. We'll call him KK from here on. And I call him an angry man because throughout the game, in the final, he did not receive one yellow card, but my goodness, he was a very naughty player throughout that game. The number 3, the captain for Young African, the left-sided center back. Keep your eyes on him because when he gets frustrated, he gets very aggressive. In a smart way, but still aggressive nonetheless. Yes, Tiga needs to not lose the ball there right in front of Denzel Narib. And Ngaruka did well to keep that ball in. That ball just needs to be cleared. It's more comfortable now, but African Stars don't want to play around with food and lose it. Malane, the right back, he's in an ascendancy. It's an offside decision. And I must say, the position on which we are commentating is one that I've never been on before. At least we have good network up here, but we can really see the full giving angle, how players are able to find passes and such. Maharero is normally a midfield player, defensive midfielder, if I can say. But he's slotting in where you would probably normally think Gianluca would be the comfortable selection for Coach Benny Hausep. But going with Maharero nonetheless, Rika, probably not the man you would want to see on the wing there, but he tried. Alroy Jackson, it's still in, and it's a throw into Stars. Good chest there, good back heel, another good back heel there. Good play. Rika, don't spoil it. He doesn't. Good turn. Samba boys. Ngero needs to go wide. He doesn't. It's still with Kambanda. It's going to be deemed offside. But that was excellent play. Something for the highlight reel. Definitely. As 4 or 5 players having tricks and flicks. Just showing the level of confidence. And a stat line that cannot be repeated more enough, that Young African have not beaten African Stars. Bakunja with his crafty left foot put it in the box. There was no one there. Awasep. Adams trying to find Jackson. Maharero will clean up. Awasep. KK. And throughout the final, it was a Young African that was really attacking more on their right flank. This time around, the ball seems to be nesting itself on this left flank. It might be a foul, and it is. Denzel, I went up to take it. He's a good left foot on him. Puts it in the box. It's an important header out, but Adam still takes the shot. It's blocked. Ali Jr. beating two players. Malane clears it anywhere. Stiga. Mahrero probably just needs to clear, but he does well to find Malane. Good 1-2 play. That's another good pass. Malane probably couldn't finish up the final third pass, but Godwin was able to cover for him. And there are spectators here. We can hear them as Garuka just loses the ball and commits an unnecessary foul. Strongest man in the league. So for both teams, more of the action on African Stars' right flank and more of the action on Young Africans' left. So it's right in front of us here in the stadium. The free kick will come in. It's going to go to the back post. It does find a head of a young African player, and that was Deacon, the centre back. Needs to get back into position as African Stars try to mount a counter attack. Just running with the ball too further ahead. Ngero. That's what he was doing. Oh, strongest man in the league with a tough clearance. The ball still in the fray, and Lukaku, no nonsense, just stops everything at once. And that counter attack was being led by, I believe it was Harold Gossip, but just running with the ball too forward in front of him. Needs to have close control. But if you thought young African will come and just lay down, it's not what has transpired in these first 15 minutes of the game. 15 to 16 minutes. It is a young African side that can still give some sort of revenge by taking 3 points away from the league toppers. First corner of the game for both teams. An in swinger taken by the left foot. And it goes straight out. Goalkeeper goes short. Maharino needs to be careful. Godwin. Rika. And well, that ball was Gero just left it trying to be smart. He did leave it, but still in the hands of African Stars, and he's playing very well already in this early. That's a very good through ball. It's caught well by Gasep, but Mira Mupo Muthopa did well to impede the quick-feeted player, and it's a foul given at the end of all that. But there seems to be some opportunity on that left. If Gasep can just channel his pace in a credible moment, but Ngero Katua started that little combination there with some good midfield play. Oh, Malani with a little chip there. Gasep has pace. He's gonna catch that. He needs to catch it, and that's a foul. It has to be. It's it could be right outside the box. Is there a goal scoring opportunity? That's a goal scoring opportunity. Would you not call that? It's a yellow card. It will be given to Deacon. It will be given to the number 14. But ladies and gentlemen, with the power of YouTube, you can just rewind a few seconds and join us back live. First question, was that not a goal scoring opportunity as Harold Gassep was the furthest player? He was brought down. Yes, I also agree it was outside the box, but a goal scoring opportunity means what? You impede the player, you receive a red card. But of course, let me not be too harsh and too biased. There was another young African player right next to him, but that player was not going to affect anything. Gassep was gone. Nonetheless, a yellow card to the number 14, Deacon. He is the right-sided center back. So it is a very juicy free kick here. I never used to take free kicks in my day when I played football, but if the ball was put at a spot like this, I would also inquire. We have Godwin, we have Malane, we have Bakonja, we have Rika out of all people. It's going to be Bakonja. It's deflected off the wall, and it is a corner. African Stars' first corner of the game. So while the final was a hotly contested game with tackles going left and right, Young African did not finish. Oh, well, they finished the game with no yellow cards. African Stars had 5. So in this game, the first yellow card is given to a young African player. Corner. Oh, it's headed by the young African player. So this will be Stars ball if it does go out. Indeed, it has. The cross comes in, it's low, it's cleared from Mira, the South African. Pressure there from Obina Ferdinand. And Stars, that's why Stars cannot rest on their morals. That back line, that front three is quick. And here they are. Kambanda just had to come back as the back line probably switched off just there. You can't switch off with those 3 players up front. Lukaku's probably going to go short here, but it's going to be start. It's going to start to be ill-advised at some point. Either way, here's Alway Jr. He loses it to Ngero Katua, who's playing a smart game there. You can see it. And Coach Mali Nga Rizimo is on the touchline. He's not happy with that because, yes, we kind of know what he was trying to do there, Ngero. But sometimes you have to be smart in football. It's a very good free kick to win, in fact, as the back post, the 2 players, Godwin and Bakonja, are at that back post. It's going to be an in-swinger, and that's the header. and it's given off as offside. It's maybe a little bit wasteful from African Stars to be offside from a free kick. But yes, in fact, that outswinger of a free kick was a very good one, as I thought those two back players would take an advantage, but offside nonetheless. Free kick on the number 100, Jackson Nangolo. Awasep finds Jackson. Awasep now with his left foot. I knew he's going to put it in. He does. Maharero with the good header. Deacon puts it back into the final third for Young African. But Kambanda puts it down the line for Gassep. Gassep is quick. He's up against the new right back. Bakonja. Apologies, that was Kambanda. And in fact, the right back for Young African is the son, Gary Zimo. So he will have a tough task up against Herald Gassep on that left flank. Oh, beautiful touch there from Godwin. Bakonja just got caught out from KK. Kambanda with time to think. That's not offside. And that's when you can say this platform is biased. That's when you can clip what I just said there. But didn't look like it from my angle. 4 offsides now for African Stars in this 20-minute, 25-minute period. No offsides for Young African. In fact, both teams have not attempted any shots off target or on target. So a more calculated game, less frantic. Garizimo puts it in, it's cleared. Bakonja running into fire in that midfield, it must be said. Jackson taken off the ball from Godwin. Bakonja. Player of the tournament. And he puts his shirt in his face there, knowing that it was a simple through ball. Coach Benny Hausep even coming off his dugout just to alert his players that you can relax. Strong header there from a brave header there from Malane, even being impeded. And I'm sure, yeah, he was looking at the referee, just asking him, hey, here's KK. Mira Muthapa Jackson. Tough challenge. There's a yellow card here, and it might be going to Jackson Nangoro. The referee is just going to probably talk to him, but Gero Kaltua is the first player that got up there, even though he was tackled. He's a hard man, Gero Katua. Stiga a little bit wasteful with that free kick, and it's back into the hands of Young African. But Young African with Ferdinand Umbona being as equally wasteful himself. Stiga with the ball there, and in his post-match interview, here he is again. He alluded to what is on the thoughts of most of the Red Army supporters. Oh, beautiful, beautiful footwork there from Godwin Isep. He's really showing something in this first 30 minutes of the game. He's been doing that all time on this near touchline. And African Stars win their second corner of the game. He almost broke a player in half. But as I was saying, Stiga just saying that other commitments might run their course at the end of this season. But it was a joyful thing to be a captain and to lead his team to a new trophy. Bakonja, it goes to the back. Moses, and it's a collision there between two players, a star player and the goalkeeper. Both are fine. But in closing, our captain, may be calling it quits at the end of the season. Nothing official has been said, but just watch the post-match interview uh, uploaded on the platforms uh, in that game against. It's a chance. It's a mistake. It's Gero Katua, and it's a foul. It's a foul. Moses Make was playing around, and it is KK, the captain, Kanji, who puts his hands up, apologizing to the rest of his team, knowing that it started from him. And wow, it was right on the left foot of Gero Katua, who's naturally left-footed. He just needed space to hit it, and it would have been 1-0 to African Stars. But committing the foul nonetheless. Leroy Adams down the line for Obina. He's a very good player, this Ferdinand Obina. The spectators are still here on this work night of a Tuesday evening in Windhoek City at the Independence Stadium. Um, Anytime is a good time to watch football. Interestingly so, the English Premier League also having games in an awkward Tuesday evening. So, yeah, the football gods have graced us. However, this is the only fixture today in the Debmarine Premiership. I will go through the other fixtures shortly. But for African Stars, Mighty Gunners, in fact, apologies, Okahanja United will be the next game. And then Mighty Gunners on Sunday. So it is a double header in the weekend. Of course, if you look at the log table, African Stars have 11 matches played. This is their 12th. Obina gets past Ngaruka, but Stiga does well to clean up. And Stiga just running with the ball gracefully like an old ox. Katua keeps it in, does not keep it in. So Okahanja United and Mighty Gunners, the two next teams. It is going to be a congested game week period for African Stars. The games will come thick and fast. And there's still one more game against Tigers that was postponed. That game week will come somewhere down the line. So many bench players, many players that are not necessarily involved in the starting lineup will get their chance. Malane, it's too much on that ball. So we do assume players like Charles Ambira, Willie Stefanis are watching this game live, just taking a rest. Dion Dennis and Romario Njavera are the other two players that are unavailable. Here's Rika. Good turn. Godwin. Hospital pass. Jackson Clean takes it away. Ali Jr. Garizimo. Obina. Kambanda doing his job. Leroy Adams. Who would have thought? Would have more opportunities on the ball when he came on at the 30th minute in the final. He had more touches on the ball. Was a very active player, but so far in this game, he's been given the opportunity, but not really influencing the game as much as he would have liked. Bakonja surrounded by three players, but still gets the pass off. Stiga changes ball. Malane is going to beat one player. He does. He's simulating a foul. The referee doesn't agree with him. And both coaches are up, wondering there should have been a foul given, but the other coach saying nothing. Jackson tries to go through two players. It's too much for him. And Stiga gets it to Kambanda. It's just given back to Moses Make. And that's a throw into Young African, maybe just clipping the head of Malane. Here's Leroy Adams now. Awasep with that cross. And Lukaku, while it is a breeze, a chilly evening, he needs to stay warm and he needs to stay alert, and he was alert there. Back to his goalkeeper there from Ngaruka. Here he is again, Vitapi Ngaruka. Stiga. Moving well. The old Hawk Ox. Ngero Katua. He's going to have to use that left foot now. He goes wide to Kambanda. It's a more calm approach. Ish, Ngaruka, what are you doing there? A little bit of a skill there just to try and fool his opponent. But a more calm approach to the last 10 minutes of this first half from African Stars. Can't really say either team took more of an advantage. That's a good tackle from Awasep, who looks like an accomplished left back. Maharero, bad touch from him, but he gets the ball of Jackson, and that is indeed a foul given against the young African player. But just as the minutes come to the last 7 to 5 minutes of the game, you cannot put a stamp on which team has had more of the opportunities. Has. How many times do I need to say that? But no shots on target, no shots off target from either team. But possession, perhaps in the hands of the Red Army, just slightly. And that's a goal kick. And just as I can see outside of our picture, Coach Benny Housep of African Stars just having words with the fourth official, just to affirm some etiquette here in the dugouts as things are starting to get slightly array. Obina, Deacon, good turn from him. He goes down the line. That's an offside decision. Coach Benny asking for more movement. Stiga, one touch to Maharero. He tried that pass, And I was about to say he should not lose it in that position because the counter will be on. But Leroy does find Mira. Mira goes a little bit high, trying to loft it over. And it is Coach Benny just talking to Maharero, the centre back, who's getting the ball now to just leave those tricky through balls to the midfielders. He is a midfielder himself. He's now caught out once again by Denzel Narib. Denzel now will go wide to Jackson. Jackson with a good left foot cross. Maharero caught it. It's still in the box with Denzel Narib. It's high. And Lukaku went in feet first. He still needs to get back into his box, his goalkeeper box, because the ball is still live. But there was an interesting challenge there, an interesting moment where Lukaku had to make a challenge on Denzel Narib. And the young African players were signaling to a foul. Referee not looking at that. But it was Maharero, the number 6 right-sided centre back, that was caught in possession just after having words with Coach Benny Hausep. So perhaps a centre back's job is just to clear the ball or find his right back or his goalkeeper, the closest player to him. If you can't find any player, just clear the ball. Obina with the header on, away from Godwin. Chest down, lost to Godwin. Player of the tournament, Bakonja, can't find Gossip. Jackson with the turn on his right foot. He takes a beautiful shot. Woof. Snapshot there from Jackson Nangoro. You could see it happening as he turned his body looking left, but then choosing to come in right. And the first shot off target for both teams goes to Young African. Bakonja here putting pressure on the captain. Oh, that ball is kept in. Godwin Isep. Malane. Rika. Bakonja with the left. He takes a shot. It's saved. It's on target. Comfortably saved from Moses Make. But closing stages of this first half, the game becoming more urgent. Stiga beating one player. Hey, he couldn't beat the second one. Ali Jr. 1-2 with him. But Garuka did well to impede his pass. Malane thinking too forward ahead. Gasep does have pace to cut in from that left flank, but not fast enough to catch on that ball. Oh, that's a good header. It's live. It's an attempt. Denzel Narib. Oh, hitting the post. What an opportunity there for the Kettle boys from Khobabas. And it is Marvin Lukaku who is just taking a pause, looking at his back line to say, guys, how can that happen? And unfortunately so, it was a moment there again with Maharero. He is on the ball now. That the ball bounced and the second opportunity fell to the young African player, which made the opportunity. Gasep has beaten the goalie. He uses his right foot. It goes to the back post. And it couldn't find another Stars player. but rightfully so, as I can hear Coach Benny just telling his defensive midfielders to get more involved in defensive work because the front three of Young African are orchestrating themselves, and the second ball or the backline of African Stars aren't having any outlets. The defensive midfielders need to come collect the ball. Ngero goes wide to Gossip, cleared from Arizimo. Gossip can still do something. Deacon does well to find Obina. Denzel Narib, the strongest man in the league, takes the ball off him. That's a good flick there for Kambanda, and it had to be cleared. Phew. That ball almost going into Olympia. Katua. Good play from him. Garuka can't be caught in two minds there with Narib giving him pressure. It's a tough pass there for Kambanda to, apologies for Bakonja to try and control. You could see what Mahariro was trying to do. Let's see if he gets that second opportunity. He tries to change play. He does well to find Kambanda. Ngero beating one player. He can use his left foot. He does. And that's a corner. 1 minute of additional time in this first half. One shot on target for African Stars, but comfortably saved. And the shot off target from Young African actually caused more panic. Those are the only two chances, but maybe Stars can get one in the final seconds of the 45. Just a sneaky header there at that front post from Vitapin Garuka. And just before the closing of this first half, I do want to send another shout out. Every stream I seem to be doing this. Yeah, African Stars Queens are doing something special this season, ladies and gentlemen. They do not have a game this week, as they did play two games last week, back to back. But and generally they do play in the north, so we do not have an opportunity to stream their games. That's the last corner here, just for Young African. But to any African Stars Queens staff, team staff, and players that are watching, you guys are doing something that the country will remember. Corner, last seconds of the game of the first half. It's headed clear, and that is half time. So, a game of chess between what you would call two masters. Of course, one of them are a champion, and one of them are a team that wishes to be champion. But in plainer English, a very carefully played, orchestrated game, not either team really having a greater ascendancy. So at the 45, between the league toppers, African Stars, and the second team in the log, Young African, it's African Stars nil, Young African nil. Stay tuned for the second half.
Marelo has been out the league for too long. Those are very scrappy mistakes. Right up he was told, and then he suddenly ran over the ball. Then he was taken off again. And there's no pressure that's actually so complicated. Fuck, I don't get this. Testing. Saying Yeah, I wasn't shouting. Oh, there's no need to shout on the Tuesday. What are you shouting for? Still on. It's a very slow game. Very slow game. Look at the SPB.
I think the first goal might kill it. And if you don't want to go with that.
But the amount of energy exerted is Saturday. You need to come back on Tuesday.
Luckily, it's against the team that also thinks this was against Tigers. And these guys were good skill. First one was the guy shot. Yeah, and this guy yeah.
I don't like cooking. I don't like cooking. My country is Because when stuff like that, it's easy to check a fraud. Because when somebody asks you a question and you can't answer, you're done. Then you know, look, yeah, this guy copying and pasting this stuff. Sometimes there's always a way. Okay, just switch on. It can be. That's why I remind okay.
1-2. Welcome back to the Independence Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, watching live on YouTube. It is a Debmarine Premiership fixture of African Stars, the home team, versus the Kettle Boys from Kobabas, Young African. And a stat that I have been repeating throughout the first half is Young African have not beaten African Stars in the last 2 seasons. I mean, the last game last season ended in a 3-1 victory to Stars. Kambatu, Weturu Kambatu was one of the scorers in that game. Bakonza and Judah did the rest. And in the first game of that season, it was a 2-0 victory to Young African. The season before that, 2-1-0 victories to African Stars. I counted back until 2017, until the stats couldn't tell me any more data, was the last time Young African actually maybe beat the Red Army. So the history books are in favor of African Stars. Let's just see how it goes in this next 45 as the Kettle Boys make their way onto the pitch. And just again, as the second half does begin, I want to say one more time to our African Stars Queens, who are at the top of the log. 13 games played, Beauties, who are undefeated still, behind Queens. Ongos FC ladies, who have played 11 games, so they do have 2 games. You do have 2 games ahead, or they are on 27 points, so they could still clinch second if they win their 2 games. So that log table, there's fixtures throughout this week. Queens will not play this week, so they will be watching all the games. Most of the games are going to be played in Windhoek. So keep your eyes on that, because that league table is starting to heat up. Ladies and gentlemen, what would it be if African Stars could have both men's and women's teams win their respective Premier League titles? Then everybody must just retire from football. Then it's clear as day who the best organization is in the land. But nonetheless, it is a 0-0 scoreline here between African Stars and Young African. It will be Stars to center. No substitutions of notice throughout that halftime period. So it is very important 3 points on the cards for both teams, where last week 1.5 million was on the cards. Good touch there from Katua and Gasep, just taking it a little bit too far ahead. It hit Deacon maybe just in the midriff. Looked like a hand to me, but as Ngaruka is fouled, it will be Stars to start once again. No Awilo, no Charles Hambira in this game. Two players that are rested. I wouldn't go too far to say they are injured, just rested. So players like Harold Gossip and Maherero coming into the team. It's a good ball. Great ball there from Tabang Malane, cutting through just behind the back line, the back four of Young African, but no Stars player to just put a foot in. Denzel Nare putting pressure on Maherero. Throw in taken from Malane. You would want perhaps a better first half, Maherero, in that centre back pairing with Garuka. Naturally a centre midfielder, so this is new to him, but no mistakes. Obina with a very interesting header, my goodness. Ferdinand Obina. That's how dangerous the top of that baroque-sided head is of that number 7 player. It's a goal, and it's Young African 1-0 ahead to the players that took $1.5 million away from them. This is the revenge that they wanted. It starts like this. It was an interesting ball over the top, and Obina, with that baroque-sided hair, the yellow hair on the top of his head, just cushioned the ball enough, and you could see Lukaku, Marvin Kasetura just looking at the ball in what you could call respect, to be so clever to do that with his head. It's a it's a better one, even with $1.5 million in your pocket. It's still a better one to take. 1-0 to Young African. Interesting times now for coach Benny Hausep, who has made a lot of changes in this game. A lot of players rested. And in fact, the attendance here, a lot of supporters cheering that goal. Seems that the Hobabus fan base is still in the city, as the final was just on Saturday. So just a few days ago, 4 days ago, staying with friends and family in Windhoek City and supporting their team. It is Bakonja now with a free kick. He's going to strike it, you can see, but Rika comes and Rika hits over. Wow, off target. That's another header on into the hands of the goalkeeper. And as it goes and edges closer to the end of the game, I will give out a stat. I won't say it now, but I do have an interesting stat as a commentator, and I will give it to you later on if the scoreline stays as such. But we do expect the Red Army to at least equalize, because as it stands, Young African will have 25 points. African Stars still have a game in hand, but they would have 25 points, Young African, and Stars would have 22. So just 3 points. Good little Ronaldinho flick there from Rika in the midfield. Katua finds Godwin. Godwin caught out from Garizimo. Oh, Denzel Narib with a very good 1-2 touch between himself, taking the ball away from one player. Leroy Adam goes wide. That's Jackson. Narib goes back to Jackson. Too much on that pass. And that's good combination play between those players. All those players didn't start the game. Even the goal scorer, Ferdinand Obina, didn't start the game for Coach Mali Garizimo. Just an odd selection, starting selection in that final. Today it's a little bit better. Garuka. And you must wonder what would have Charles Mbira done. But it must be said that ball was just very smart. Leroy coming in the midfield. Ali Jr. with the black flick. Garuka tried to chop it away, but Narib was smart. Obina too much on that back pass, and it's fallen to Bakonja. Wins the throw in. Anxious times for Stars, even though there's a lot of time left in this second half. You feel that they don't want this to linger for too long, this scoreline. So they're already putting pressure. Isep caught out there from the son of the coach and kicked out there from the only man to have a yellow card in this game, Deacon. Cleared from Deacon. Two balls on the pitch, and that might be a yellow card offense. To impede play, is that not a yellow card offense? Denzel Narib, it looked like he was trying to clear the ball, to be honest, but clearing the ball right in front of the player that has the ball, tactics. Obina, Maharero, good pass to Stiga, but that's caught out from Adams, and the ball goes to Jackson. Maharero with the sliding tackle, but Jackson beats it. He keeps it in. Malane is there, but Jackson is still smart enough to keep the ball. Leroy Adams with the cross. It's to the front post. It's saved. It goes out for a goal kick, but it is Denzel Narib who has been impeded. The medical staff needs to make their way onto the pitch. It seems to be more of a foot injury. You can't say that he went in with his head to header that at that near post. So he was trapped on the foot. But good play from Jackson. Nangoro on that left flank with alongside Leroy Adams. Leroy Adams, I called him out in that first half. He's coming to play in the second. Oh, that's a hard challenge on Stiga, but Stiga still retains the ball. Aldore Jr., Malane, Katua calming things down. Rika. Oh, couldn't put that through ball in. KK, the captain, just clears his lines. And while I didn't raise my voice too much in this game, the first half was very somber. I think we have to pick it up a notch in the second because the Red Army are trailing. Rika with the turn. Gasep. Rika maybe should have taken a shot, but he finds Malane. And the goalkeeper did well, it must be said, Moses Make. In that opportunity there, I would have maybe blasted it as hard as I could, Tabang Malane. But he tried to go under the goalkeeper and fingers was good enough to save the ball. Rika, another opportunity to put another through ball. It's too much for Malane. And Rika needs to understand that Maybe he is going to be the outlet. He's not being marked by Mira, the South African Mathopa, the number 33 in that defensive midfield position. So there is a hole there for Rika to exploit. He just needs to get that final third pass to perfection. Or perhaps take a shot for himself. Rika now with the ball, wins the free kick. Well done. You push the player, Rika. Why do that? He's going to get called from the referee, of course. And in my book, that's a clear yellow card. He won the free kick, but he didn't need to use his hands in any other instance. The referee is very, very lenient there. No yellow card. Maybe it was just a push of, hey, there's a man work, man. So, no yellow card. Game continues. Free kick. Headed out from Mira Mathopa. Let us see what our boys are made of when they have to come back and they don't have players like Charles Mbira. They don't have players like Willie Stephanus, Gossip. There needs to be a new hero. Gossip puts the ball in. It's a beautiful cross. It's almost an own goal. Yo, Deacon tried to put anything on that ball and it almost dropped into the back of the net. It probably wouldn't have even touched the net, maybe just crossed the line. It was that close, but Moses Make was ready for it. Malane back to Lukaku. Somebody needs to be a hero this time. Ibrahim Yosef Juja is on the bench. He has a new hairstyle, so he is a new man. He probably is licking his lips looking at how this game has transpired. Other attacking options as we look at this offside, a clear offside there. It's clear offside. I would have bet money, I would have put money on that to be offside. But other attacking options for African Stars is Joseph Juja, as I just mentioned, and Paulus Jomo Chiveta. Those are probably the furthest three players that you would add to this attacking lineup. Gianluca Juanwari, Jackson Johannes, the other players available. So as you are watching live on YouTube, you can make your own imaginary substitutions. Let us know who you believe is having a good game. Good flick there from Bakoja. Yes, Katua! My goodness! Katua Ngero! Ngero! The craziest man in this team. Audacious shot from Ngero Katua, probably scoring the goal of the season so far in the Debmarine Premiership. 1-0. He was man of the match in the previous game. They needed a hero. And the hero is Ngeo Katua. What was he thinking? That left foot is a dangerous, dangerous man. He's a dangerous, dangerous man to attempt that. And we thank him for that. My goodness, what a goal from Ngeo Katua. It was an assist from Bakonja. And I shook his hand. I'll tell you some inside information. After the game against Maris, I shook his hand. I went to him straight and I said, my man, you are the man of the match. You are the man of the match. You've been playing very well in the last 3 games. And what a goal he has scored. He's really starting to play good football there, Ngero Katua, in these last 3, 4, 5 games. And he has now become a hero. The ball is in the box. Safely in the hands of Moses Make. Apologies for my emotions. I have been invested in this team for many years as a commentator and as a fan. But great emotion on the line. Denzel Narib almost catching on to that through ball there from Karizimo. No, apologies, that is Jackson. And it is African Stars going to make a substitution. Beautiful equalizer there. Beautiful equalizer from Ngero Katua. That highlight, he'll take that highlight to the bank. Top corner. I mean, I wish I could see it again just as I'm commentating. But 1-1, foul given to a young African. Jomo Chiveta and Ibrahim Yosef Juja, two players coming on shortly. Free kick. Header from Ngero. Leroy puts another head on. It is going to be offside as Leroy Adams put that flick on. But perhaps time for the substitutions to be made from coach Benny Hausep. No, the referee allows play to continue. Godwin. Oh, there's a junkie there from Godwin. And Katua on the left flank. Oh, beautiful low ball where you would have expected it to be high. But Konja couldn't catch on to that. Kambanda. Time to look up. Oh, I can see the pass that he was trying to make. It didn't come off, but Malane can still catch on. Take a shot, boy. Yes. No. Off target. And the referee has had many opportunities to look to his fourth official to prepare the substitutions, but the game is heating up now. 1-1. African Stars. It was a first goal from Young African from Ferdinand Ogbonna. And it's a shot again from Eli Jr. And there is a Stars player and in fact a Young African player as well. Both players, two players are on the dugout. So how it transpired, Ferdinand Obina with a beautiful lofted header reminds me of what Van Persie did in the Netherlands in the World Cup, just heading on the ball, flickering it over the keeper. Marvin Kasetura could only look in appreciation. And then as African Stars started to mount more attacks and they were looking for a hero, Ngero Nkatua just decided Neman. And he hit it right into the corner, the upper part of the mouth of the goal. A beautiful highlight, a beautiful shot to make it 1-1. And the two substitutions being confirmed, it is Gossip, Harold Gossip, the number 23, and Godwin Isep, the number 7 for African Stars, being replaced by Jomo and opportunity. It's still there, but it's a beautiful save. Almost lost for words here I am. As Juja, a player that is very good with his understanding of aerial play, put it down for Bakonja to take a shot. Didn't take the cleanest of attempts, but it was still lingering around in the box, but cleared out for African Stars' first corner of the second half. Jomo and Juja have entered the game. Oh, that's a header at the front post, and it's just wide. Just wide. It seemed as if it might have fallen into the back post, but Coach Benny Hausep, still a man having conversations with the fourth official about something. He's not happy about something, but this is turning out to be the game that we thought it would be. Here's Jackson Langolo. He has changed wings. Normally on that left wing has come down to the right. Almost beating Kambanda here. Here's Jackson again. Finds Garizimo. It's an awkward ball, and it is an offside decision. Coach Benny asking for a winning goal to Ibrahim Yosef Judja. Maybe it's his time to be the ultimate hero. But the first hero is Ngero Katua, man of the match against this same team in the MTC Maris Cup final. Here's Maharero having a better second half, even though he has conceded in the second half. It's been more comfortable from him. Ali Jr., Deacon, just doing what defenders do and just clearing his lines. Stiga. Oh, Stiga caught out there from the South African Mira. Oh, and Stiga does a beautiful job getting back. Round of applause there for Captain, our captain, losing the ball but winning it back. Still time for a hero for both teams, it must be said. I don't think both of these teams would want another 1-1 draw. There have been so many, as I've said earlier, between these top 5 teams. Stiga goes high, trying to find Juja, but it's deemed to be offside. Rika shouting at Juja to you can see with your own eyes to make sure that you are not offside. Juja has a very interesting hairstyle on today. We'll try to take a photo with him after the game. It's a very interesting hairstyle. Stiga up and under. Header there on from Jomo. Here's Juja now with his first touch. Kambanda. Good header there from Deacon. And the flick from the number 100 couldn't come off. Garizimo with the throw in. The strongest man in the league is fouled. Denzel Narib, this number 9 for Young African, is really a good striker. He's really been nibbling at the feet of the two center backs throughout the entire game and in the final. So, really a striker that is one to watch. Of course, Ferdinand Obona, I mentioned it in the first half that he's really a good player, and he had the class to score a goal like that. Here's Mahero Obina Awase. Oh, that's a chest, more of a shoulder there from Denzel, but Maharero does well again, doing much better in the second half. Jomo caught out Obina. Jomo gets the ball back, cutting through the midfield, finding Vitaping Garuka. Juja, Bakonja, Juja. Caught out there from Jackson. Another up and under. Who can control? You wouldn't say that a small rivalry is starting between these two teams. Jackson, good tackle there from Edmund Kambanda. And he's smart enough. He's smart enough to win the foul. Let's give him that. As Jackson Nangolo almost ripped him to shreds, he needed to be very, very clinical with that sliding challenge. As Jackson was gone, Bakonja with a beautiful through ball to Malane. Oh! It's quite easy to do it, Malane. Tabang Malane, the right back, a beautiful pass that might be a highlight of its own from Bakonja. Changing play. It's as if those two players were talking to each other. But Malane has had now two chances to have the same type of technique in his shot. A low grass cutter that falls into the back post. Bakonja goes again wide, finding Jomo. Jomo, your first touch player. First touch player. And Malane maybe had to think about using the outside of his right foot to maybe curl it. A low grass cutter curling into the back post. What a goal it would have been. A shot off target. It has ended. Back to the goalkeeper. African Stars, they want their 3 points. They've taken $1.5 million. So what is a 3 points compared to 1.5 million? Katua. Strong cross. It could have found Malani at the back post. I mean, he's doing very well as a right back to even get in these positions. It's just unfortunate that he can't capitalize on them. Substitution for Coach Mali Ngarizimo. It is the number 12, Ali Jr., who was probably one of the better players in the MTC Madis Cup final. He is replaced by the number 27, Charlie Kahe. Charlie Kahe was playing left back in the final. He started the game at left back, but seems to be slotting in man for position. He will be playing in the midfield. So quite versatile. He is Charlie Hake, the number 27. Oh, beautiful touch there from Juja. Bakonja beats a player. He now finds Jomo. Jomo almost left the ball there for Rika to capitalize on. Jomo now again. Malane looks up, trying to find Juja. And he might find Kambanda. Throw in, taken by Garizimo. Still young Africans ball. Coach Benny just in your picture there, just having words with his players. Coach Mali again, also in our picture, and another throw in given against Stars. I'm not going to be too biased to assume that that was our throw in, but taken again. Son and father, number 2, and the coach. Maybe he's whispering how he wants this throw in to be taken. Gero with the header on. Ngaruka. Adams is there. Maherero does well with the clearance. Anyway, will do. But perhaps it's time for the class of African stars to start showing its potential in this game, as the game maybe is not there for the taking. It's still a tough one. And that's where a hero will have to be made. Now that's a throw in given to stars. Katua says thank you to the linesman. And the linesman actually might the linesman actually no, it is Marley Ga Rizimo that is being questioned by the referee. He doesn't want to earn a yellow card. But it wasn't Gero who actually said to the linesman, thank you, thank you, very sarcastically, maybe in the vein of disrespect. And I thought the linesman might have told the referee, hey, that guy needs to get a yellow card. But did not happen. Good header on there from Joseph Juja. Bakonja has had a good game. He's shown why he's been player of the tournament for the MTC Maris Cup. Believe he had the assist for the first game and almost had an assist for two opportunities for Malane. But it is Leroy Adams who has been impeded. So, 1-1. Let us know who you think will take all 3 points, or will it be shared? That was Ngero Katua's first goal of the season in the Debmarine Premiership. So a timely goal nonetheless. I mean, and if it is Bakonja who has had the assist, that's his fifth assist of the season. 5 goals, 5 assists for Bakonja Chahikika. And if I'm talking about assists, I cannot not talk about how many assists Awilo has. Awilo has 7 assists. It's he's really the wizard. Goal kick. Midfield play from Stiga. Maharero. Lukaku always offering himself as an option. Oof, that's a very risky pass there from Garuka against a very quick Denzel Nare, because if he was able to catch that ball, he was gone. Stars just need to be careful with playing around at the back. Obina. Mira. Leroy Adams. Tahe, the substitute, gets it to the left back, Awasep KK, who has had a more calm game, the captain, Kanji. But here comes Makoja, who's actually gotten onto that ball. He gave it to Juja. He might have taken it on himself. Oh, good turn there from Jackson Nangolo. Oh, and that's those two players there, collision. It's going to be perhaps a yellow card for Ngaruka, but the coach of Young African cannot come into the pitch and try to aggressively shout at the player, because it was a collision more than a harsh challenge. It is going to be a yellow card for Vitapi Ngaruka, the strongest man in the league, and I do expect him to stand up very shortly, but I do believe he got a smack on the face, on the side of the face, which is totally different to what the challenge should be. So maybe just an arm hit him on the face, but Charlie Make or Kahe, the number 27, the substitute who received that challenge, is okay to continue. And Ngaruka is, of course, okay to continue himself. Free kick nonetheless, given to Young African. The referee is asking him to, must he leave the pitch or should the game continue with him in the pitch? I believe it's a foul. He wasn't, the medical staff did not attend to him, so he didn't need to come out of the pitch. But Garuka is outside the pitch. Coach Benny is having some words with the fourth official. A substitution was made. We'll get to it as the free kick comes in, headed out from Mahariro. But it comes back in. Katua does his best with defensive efforts, and the counter is on. Juja muscled off the ball, but it's still a foul given to African Stars. The substitute that was made, it is Denzel Narib, who has been substituted by the number 11. And on our team sheet, unfortunately, I do not have a number 11. We'll try to identify the player. Coach Benny is still having words with the fourth official. At the bottom of your picture, you probably can't see it in your picture, but it is a frustrated Coach Benny House. Nonetheless, free kick to African Stars. It's hard. It's driven. But it's back into the hands of Moses Make. Good header there from Ngero Katua. He's not even a left back, but he's there doing his defensive duties. Bakonja, good touch from him. Oh, he beat that player, and that player challenged him. Yes, and it will be a yellow card, I believe. Should be, because that was a clinical challenge from the captain, I believe, KK. Kanji, who should have received a yellow card in the MTC Maris Cup final. He does receive one here. And I can tell you, the coaches of both teams and the fourth official and the linesman are still having words amongst themselves here in the dugout. This is a very important 3 points. As if $1.5 million is not important enough. Oh, that's a beautiful free kick. And ladies and gentlemen, what can you say? If you can rewind that, does it not look like the player was impeded instead of the goalkeeper? It is a foul given against African Stars, but what more can he do but go for a header where the goalkeeper has his fists as an option to clear the ball? And that was Ngaruka not even accepting any medical assistance because he's the strongest man in the league. But a foul given nonetheless. Substitution for African Stars. It will be the number 15, Rika Munjua, coming off for Paulus. Alu Dilu. Always a tongue twister there. Paulus Alu Dilu. And he can really come in with some energy. Another good defensive header there from Ngero Katua, who's probably putting another man of the match performance in this game as well. Looks like he's pulled his hamstring, Ngero. He's a strong boy, but a hamstring is a hamstring. And that ball is just thrown out. So he does look like he's clutching his hamstring, Ngero Katua, but he's telling his coach, giving the thumbs up. Tough, tough young man there. That's a nice through ball from Maharero to find Juja. Juja just did enough to win the corner. Young African have had no corners in this second half. African Stars are about to have their second in this half. Coach Marley is going crazy. Headed there at the front post. It can come back in. It's going to go to the back post where Stars players are. Jomo with a shot. Another corner. Deflected off of Deacon. This might be the moment. It's the 86th minute of the game. Another substitution is going to be made from Young African. I can tell you it will be a defensive one, as maybe this game is falling out of their hands. But can Stars find another hero? Corner taken by Paulus. Oh, Jomo! Chance! It's blocked. Jomo again. He turns. He has Malane in support. I believe that was actually Bakoja. Nice flick. It's still into the box. Who's that? And is not able to find a pass or a shot on goal. It's a corner. Is it a corner or a goal kick? It is a corner. It was a beautiful one-time pass from Ngero Katua with his right foot nonetheless to put it back into the box. And the player, let me have a look at him. It's Garuka. It's the center back. He was the player that was in the box with the ball, and you can't judge a center back harshly for not having the flair to turn and twist and find a pass. But Stars still got a free kick. It is Bakonja Chahikika, Star Boy, to take it. Maybe try and be sneaky and put it low. Let's see what he does here. Oh, it's a good header. It's off the crossbar. It's still there. It's Tiga. It's not offside. He's not offside, but it's deflected nonetheless. So I think it is a Stars throw-in. The referee is saying, oh my goodness, the linesman said throw-in to Young African. Wow. And with a few more moments left in this normal time, Leroy Adams is being substituted. It is McKenny coming into the game. I think African Stars might have shot their load there with those flurry of opportunities. We will have to see how much time will be added on to this game. Maybe Young African will have their opportunity. Here, Kambanda. Juja Kaneza, easy through ball to Bakonja. Bakonja is there! Toe poked it back to his goalkeeper. As Bakonja just had the ball in his stride. Opportunity, no! Jackson, oof! Jackson Nangoro with a shot off target. It actually goes well wide, and the entire dugout, 5 minutes of additional time, the entire dugout of the Young African team, they jumped up as they thought it was over. So, what can we say? Perhaps both teams will maybe have one more attempt on goal. The goalkeeper coming out here, and it isn't Gero Katua. Moses Make doing the right thing and just blasting it into touch. Ngero. He's still there. It's a save. It's a corner. Oh, Gero Katoa might have the man of the match performance already. I will have a word with him as a post-match interview. You can't have two man of the match performances and not have a post-match interview. Bakonja with the corner. Who can be the hero? It's a header at the front post by Paulus. And it's well wide. So, closing stages of this game. About 2 to 3 minutes left. If it does stay this way, it will mean that both teams earn a point that will take them both to 23 points. And of course, teams like Komas Nampo, and Mighty Gunners will be looking at that and saying, okay, very interesting. Komas Nampo are in third and Mighty Gunners are in fourth. Mighty Gunners against African Stars on Sunday, I believe. So that will be another important game for the Red Army. But on Saturday, it will be against Okahanja United, who are in currently 8th position. Stiga still running. Tackled off the ball from McKenny. Shot from the goal scorer, Obina. Putting his hands up, apologizing, but no need to apologize. One lost opportunity here. Paulus. First touch taken off the ball. McKenny. Maharero does well now. Good turn. Maharero needs to find the pass that will open up this play. He finds Bakonja. Oh, beautiful header to Paulus. And that's a foul. Maybe a timely foul there on Paulus. This might be it. This might be it. It will be the left foot of Bakonja Chahikika to take it. He's done well with his free kicks all game. Headed from Deacon. Kahe switches play. Ngero Katua. That's a beautiful tackle. That's a beautiful tackle. And Jackson, yeah, no sportsmanship. Yeah. It started as if they are going to throw hands, but sportsmanship won that battle in the end. It was a beautiful tackle from Ngero. Jackson still has time to put the ball in the box. This might be the last chance. Mira Mathopa with the shot, the South African, comfortably saved. And that's a goal kick. And it's really at the referee's discretion to end this game. A 1-1 draw. I said it in the first half. There have been so many 1-1 scorelines between the top 5 teams lately. Juja, Paulus, Bakonja, Malane. Malane needs to look up. He can go to the back post because Juja is there. It's not long enough. Ngero gets the ball. He wins the throw-in. The referee is looking at his watch, allowing this throw-in to be taken. Ngaruka just has to put it into the box. Maybe Maharero will get the opportunity to do so. He will not. And that is the game. Well, you can't blame them. Both teams played a very high octane game in the MTC Maris Cup final, where tackles were flying, and it was a very hotly contested game for $1.5 million. So, of course, you can see how many players are lying down, sitting down, as their football minds have been tested once again in this Debmarine Premiership fixture. So, in Windhoek at the Independence Stadium, it has ended. African Stars 1, Young African 1. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the weekend for Okahanja United and Mighty Gunners. For me, Emmanuel Nkara and Davido, it's good evening.